Did everybody get the packet addendum with the
Yes.
updated agenda? Okay.
I did.
I forgot to print the updated agenda though, so I apologize.
I didn't either, so.
I put it on the screen. This.
I know.
So. Whenever you all are ready.
Okay.
Okay, Joe, do you want to go ahead with your Zoom instructions? I'll let you do it in the right order this time.
All right. Zoom instructions for today's meeting. Please say your name before speaking and before making a motion. Board members are required to state their location during roll call. Please mute yourself when you are not speaking. That's *6 if you're on the phone. Do not click unknown links that may be shared in the Zoom chat. The township does not disseminate information with this function. The meeting is being recorded. Please be respectful of those speaking and do not interrupt. If anyone is disruptive to the point of preventing the township board from conducting business, you'll get one warning before being removed from the meeting. If there is a problem with Zoom, the meeting will be reset utilizing the same meeting information. If the meeting is unable to continue, a notice will be issued on the township Facebook page and website. Reminder to the board, commission members that email or texting is not allowed to during the meeting. Please be patient as we're all learning this system.
Okay, we'll go ahead and call the meeting to order. This is the regular
As soon as you
meeting.
can, switch to 13 and tape up, but tape this.
I'm sorry, Brenda, I didn't hear you.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought I was muted.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's
My
okay.
niece is about to be on the news and Steve's taping it.
Okay, we'll go ahead and call the meeting to order then. This is the regular meeting of Wednesday, May 12th, 2021 at 6 p.m. And I will go ahead and call the roll. Don't please forget to mention your name and your location. Aldrich,
Here, Saugatuck Township, Allegan County.
Bigford,
Here, Saugatuck Township, Allegan County.
Helmrich,
Here, Saugatuck Township, Allegan County.
Marcy,
Here, Saugatuck Township, Allegan County.
and Osmond, Saugatuck Township, Allegan County. We are all accounted for. We're going to go ahead then and approve the agenda. If anyone would like to make a motion,
Madam Supervisor?
yes?
Yeah, I'm sorry to do this, but it just dawned on me on Monday, as I told you earlier in the week. I'd like to add an item. And I guess what number would it be? So this would be under new business. I'm sorry.
Okay, so it would be number 810.
Okay, I'd like to add number 810 to the agenda tonight, and that would be our consideration, as we've done the last 2 years, of a resolution. I'm sorry, a proclamation for declaring June as Pride Day in the township.
Pride Month,
Pardon?
Pride Month,
Yes, Pride Month.
okay. We've added 9/10. Consideration of June is Gay Pride Month. Public comment section of the agenda.
Cindy,
Yes,
do we need to go ahead and approve the agenda as amended?
yes, I'm sorry.
Well, I will be happy to do that. This is Bigford. I move to approve the agenda as amended.
Is there support?
I'll support. Oh, sorry.
Very good. Is there any discussion? I'll go ahead and call the roll. Bigford,
Yes,
Aldrich,
Yes.
Helmrich,
Yes,
Marcy,
Yes.
and Osmond, yes. Motion carries. Is that echo coming from me?
Sounds like it.
Do you have two people on where you are, Cindy?
No,
That's
I
I
can
usually
can barely
above
have
that.
one.
It's gone
Yeah.
now.
Okay. So then let's go ahead and open the public comment section of the agenda. If there are people that would like to address the board, please limit your time to 3 minutes for individuals and 5 minutes for an individual speaking on behalf of a group. This is not a question and answer period, but an opportunity to voice your thoughts with the board. So go ahead and raise your hand or unmute yourself and make yourself known, and we'll give you the floor.
As Chairman, this is Dean Capping. Would you like me to speak now, Cindy?
Sure.
All right. First, good seeing everybody. This is Commissioner Cappinga. And just to give you an update on what's going on with the county, I know tomorrow is, I think it'll be an interesting discussion as we're discussing if we should extend the state of emergency for the county. And I know I had a discussion with our chairman yesterday, and I'm sure you'll be having those same discussions as far as the governor came out today with a 60% reduction, believing that the vaccines have really helped this. And just to see if we should or if we shouldn't, I'm not sure if we should extend it. I'm leaning on not, because we've done so well. And but anyway, that's coming up tomorrow. Also, just a thought of this. I mean, I think there's been a lot of volunteers from your area that have helped with this whole COVID help as far as for the vaccines. And if you knew the numbers, they're just staggering as far as, like 6,000 hours, or I don't know if it was 400 people, but just a large group of people that have put themselves in harm's way in a way to help the citizens and their friends and just their neighbors with this. So we're thinking of I know tomorrow we're going to also look at how can we say thank you to these people, in a significant way. So we're also looking at that. And I think, the whole issue with how you don't supposed to be able to give government funds for it, but we want to have a dinner, we want to do something and to see what we can do. And we're going to do something. I'm sure we will, but we're looking at that too. Also, just to say that the state approved a pretrial services for the county, for the prosecutor's office. And what that means is we have pretrial assessments, pretrial supervision, and pretrial substance abuse testing. So when there's a case against somebody, they actually have somebody who talks to the attorney who's representing that person to see the bigger picture of what's going on with the help that they need and what's the best solution for, what they're recommending for time for this person. So it's a big position, and that's supposed to be filled by June 1st. So I think it's a real big thing. Also, I mentioned to you two big issues. This groundwater study is just a big deal that we're putting a committee together to try to really give some answers for you, as far as if we should get a system in place where you can actually see what's underneath you to help with subdivisions and saying, this is a good place to build, this isn't a good place to build, something like that. And then just lastly, as far as broadband, that's at the top of the list as far as what we need. And I'm driving it that way. I see nodding of heads going, yeah, Dean, it's obvious, where some of the funds that are the ARPA funds, we got to divert a lot of that toward that, so I'm pushing it that way. And then just some things that like you're dealing with, we're doing bids on a courthouse roof tomorrow. We're also trying to approve a gun lake plan for our park over there. If you've used that, we're doing that type of thing too, but else we're very busy as you are. Have a great meeting. Thanks for letting me speak, Cindy. And thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Cappinga. It's good news to hear, especially about the broadband.
You bet. Thank you.
Is,
May I ask a question before you leave?
You bet.
yes.
Okay. Okay, so I just 2 points that you made that are really very cool, but the 400 people and 6,000 hours, is that from everywhere, or what is the area that's from?
That's from everybody in the county came. I just
Okay,
know
in the county. Wow.
Yeah, in the whole county. And I just know of a bunch of friends that I have from Saugatuck Douglas that have given the husband and wife type thing, or the individually have just gone and said they've given tons of hours. And it is incredibly commendable, because they did put themselves in harm's way with this virus.
Yes.
Helping
Yeah.
these people. So I can't say enough about them.
Yeah, it's wonderful. And then, excuse my acronym illiteracy, but I was wondering, regarding the broadband, was that stimulus money?
It is. So
Okay.
we're gonna, I believe, get about $23 million. And now there's just a big, you can imagine what's going on with all the people going, hey, I think it should be used for
Yep.
this. And I think you have an idea of what it would cost for us to do anything significant in broadband. That $23 million isn't even that much money. When you look at the
Wow.
fiber that's needed to go throughout the areas that really need it, that would be a good start for it. But there's a lot of diversion for funds like that. And you can imagine the cries that we're getting from people going, no, we have to look at this in all these different ways. But I know I'm obviously want to listen to all of them because maybe there's something else will rise. But I know what's rising right now in my mind is broadband.
Yeah, and it has been in mind for a long time. So I'm really glad to hear that.
Thanks for mentioning that. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good
Thank-
meeting.
Thank you again, Mr. Campica. Have a good evening.
Thank you, Cindy.
I see Lori Goshorn has her hand raised. Lori, you have the floor.
Alrighty, thanks. I just wanted to thank you very much for putting my letter on the agenda. And I really look forward to discussion or finding out where you guys are with all of this. I appreciate it. So with that, I'll mute myself again.
Thank you, Lori. Is there anyone else that would like to make a public comment? This would be the time. We'll also have time at the end of the meeting. So I see John. John, you have the floor.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
All right, great. John Doerr, live over at 3468 Riverside Drive. And I really just wanted to voice my concern, deep concern about the late addition of the approval of the Riverside Road project to the agenda without any real notice. I mean, there's, I've been listening in on a number of the past meetings and it seems like it's just jumped way ahead. And I would like to see if the board might entertain postponing it to the next monthly meeting. Thank you.
Thank you, John. Is there anyone else that would like to make a public comment at this time?
Yes.
Scott,
Hi.
you have the floor.
Okay, hang on a sec. I'm sorry. Yeah, I would like to second what Mr. Doerr just said. I've been following the project. I know it's been on the drawing board for quite a while, and that it's got a lot of moving parts, and that there's a lot of interest, from people in the area, affected property owners, and so on and so forth. But I just was surprised. I was getting ready to join the meeting a little earlier today, and I pulled the packet down and saw that this was just added as an item yesterday. And I noticed that even though the packet includes the bids, it doesn't include the design specs. I think there's some confusion about whether this applies to only one part of the project, meaning one leg of dugout, or whether it applies to the whole project. But I think it would be better all the way around if we could just, first of all, during this meeting, clarify what the steps in the process are, whether committee and commission review is something that takes place down the road. Same with legal review. What kind of timeline is this expected to operate on? But again, for all of these reasons, just if we could, with this breaking so late, with the specs just coming out within the last couple of weeks, because they weren't on the website a couple of weeks ago when I looked, I think it would be in everyone's best interest to just table this until the next meeting so that everyone has a chance to study it and absorb it and prepare comments if they have them. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Scott, for those comments. Is there anybody else that would like to raise their hand and be recognized to speak?
Yeah, this is Jim Searing. I'm not sure how to raise my hand. Can you hear me?
That's okay. We can hear you and you have the floor, Jim.
Okay. The reason I called in is I can make some additional comments on Lori's email to you folks. I can do it now, or I can do it later if you're going to discuss it.
Now would probably be the best, Jim. We would appreciate your comments.
Okay. Joe and I met on Monday, and Joe explained to me that he had talked to the township lawyer. The lawyer had explained the difference between an appointed board and an elected board, and basically agreed with the comments that Lori made and the points she made. Joe also found our old bylaws, which were written in 1974. So we decided that we will rewrite our bylaws and modify our responsibilities. And we will, between now and our June meeting, Joe and I will prepare a draft. At our June meeting, we will have a draft available. We will meet in person. We decided that would be a better way to go through the bylaws and so forth. And out of that meeting, we hope to come with an updated set of bylaws, and that we can work towards approving at our July meeting. So that's what we talked about. Like I say, Joe and I are going to meet again next week and start working on a draft.
Excellent information, Jim. Thank you for sharing.
Okay.
Is there anybody else that would like to make a public comment at this time? Now is your chance. I see Scott.
Yeah, thank you. Scott Waringa, 6618 Dugout Road. And I'm one of the signers on the letter about the Van Horn sand mining project. And I just wanted to express my appreciation for putting it on the agenda tonight, and then also just to, in the strongest way possible, ask that you give it serious consideration to, revoke that SAU. I think our letter, states it pretty clearly, the violations. There have been other violations that weren't on the letter that I've written about before, but yeah, I just appreciate you guys taking some time to talk about it tonight. So thanks.
Thank you, Scott. Thanks for speaking up. We appreciate that. Is there anyone else that would like to make a public comment at this time? Going once, going twice? Anybody else? Okay, we'll close this section of the order of the agenda and public comments and move on to the consent agenda. Has everybody had a chance to look at the consent agenda? Are there any questions? These are usually routine items that we've either previously discussed or do as a matter of routine. If there aren't any questions, I would entertain a motion.
This is Helmrich. I'd like to offer a motion that we approve the consent agenda as presented this evening.
Thank you. Is there support?
This is Aldrich. I'll support.
Okay, we have a motion and support. Is there any further discussion about the consent agenda? Hearing none, I'll call the roll. Helmrich,
Yes.
Aldrich,
Yes.
Bigford,
Yes.
Marcy,
Yes.
Osmond, yes, motion carries. And we can then move forward to unfinished business, and I'm going to give Mr. Fry the floor so he can give us a quick review on this. We did have a special meeting where we reviewed it in some detail that was open to the public, although it was a little hard to understand. So I'm hoping Joe will give us a concise but complete overview.
Just 1 second. I pulled up the wrong PowerPoint and I was wondering why it was looking funny today.
We'll give you some leeway. Like we said, we're all still learning this new system.
Not the one. Here, just 1 second, everybody. Had it all ready to go and it just decided not to be right one today. Sorry, everybody.
I'll just make one comment while we're waiting. In spite of a brand new computer and in spite of purchasing more high-speed internet, I still sometimes have unstable internet connection. And I'd like to suggest that if I get kicked off, that maybe Abby could take my place until I can get back on. Anybody have any comments or issues with that?
I think that's.
Do we need
great
a motion
idea.
to that effect? Oh, I'm sorry.
No, good idea. You need
Okay,
something
that
more
was-
official than good idea?
I think that was a motion by Brenda
Okay.
Yes,
Okay,
and
I'll
support
second
by-
that.
and support from Stacy.
All right.
Okay, looks like we're back on board.
just one second. Do you have to call the roll?
Oh, yes, I do. Sorry.
Okay, that's okay.
Marcy,
Yes,
Aldrich,
Yes.
Osman, yes. Helmrich,
Yes,
Bigford,
Yes,
motion carries. Thank you.
Okay, everybody, can you see the PDF packet here?
Yes.
Mhm.
All right, good. I have got it up for it. So the tentative budget per township policy, the township manager is to present the tentative budget for you, the proposed budget for the next fiscal year. And then in June, the budget hearing and truth and taxation hearing will be held, which is scheduled tonight. You will be scheduling it for June. So the packet for the proposed budget is in your packet. During the discussion at our budget workshop, we decided to go with option 3, which was a service and infrastructure focused proposal that goes over. Let me go to the general fund overview here and just kind of go through it. That includes the millage increase to shift the weight to more reliable revenue funding to protect us as we go forward into the future and to continue to provide quality services. And that also meets our priority goal in the multi-year strategic action plan. There's also funding for the parks and trails, a new website for preparation for the township halls renovations. That will also work to make the township more transparent on our website with information. And those, I think, were some of the highlights that we talked about. Did I miss anything that you guys, or any questions that was in the packet? So that is in there. Any other questions you want me to go over for it? Okay.
No, I thought you did a great job, Joe, and it's so complete and excellent work.
Thank you.
yeah, and I'd just like to add, I'd like to thank my colleagues and Joe as well. I think the budget workshop was incredible. And I appreciated how you offered the 3 options. And I believe the option 3, which we all endorsed, dealt with some changes and tweaks that we had each or individually requested. And I thank you for that.
Just so you all know, just so everyone and everyone can see what you guys are seeing to make sure. I'll post that PowerPoint I gave to you all so that residents can see that and ahead of the actual public hearing for the public. So just let you know, let me take that note.
That sounds perfect. If anybody has any questions for Joe, you could speak up now. Wow, I think that speaks a lot about what Joe did for the budget workshop. That was an excellent presentation.
Really was.
Is there anyone that would like to make a motion?
This is Aldrich. I make a motion to adopt the proposed 2021-2022 budget as presented and schedule the budget and truth and taxation hearing as a part of the regularly scheduled June board meeting.
Is there support?
This is Marcy. I'll support.
Is there any further discussion before we call the roll? Hearing none. Aldrich,
Yes.
Marcy,
Yes.
Osmond, yes, Bigford,
Yes.
and Helmrich.
Yes.
Motion carries. Thank you, Joe. That was a very good report.
Thank you.
What do we have next? New business. Citizen request. Mr. Fry, would you like to just kick this one off, please?
Yep. So as you accepted in your consent agenda, there was a letter from residents from the 66th Street area regarding the Van Horn Pond. In order for the board, it is suggested to get a full attorney opinion letter in a summary of the project so that the board can have a full, all the information regarding this so that you can have a full discussion. I'd recommend we can prepare that for June so that it can be on the agenda for June for that discussion to be had.
Thank you. Does anybody have any questions for Mr. Fry? Seeing none, I would like to entertain a motion.
This is Helmrich. I'd like to make a motion that we request an attorney opinion letter and zoning administrator letter to inform the board on the details of the matter related in the 66th Street citizen request for discussion on area pond.
Thank you. Is there support for that?
This is Aldrich. I'll support.
Okay, we have a motion and support. Is there any further discussion? I'm not seeing any, so I'll go ahead and call the roll. Helmrich,
Yes.
Aldrich,
Yes.
Osmond, yes, Bigford,
Yes.
and Marcy.
Yes.
Motion carries.
I'll
And
have
then,
that- oh, sorry.
pardon?
We have the information for you, and then for the residents who are on, we'll have the information. If you would like to see it, just send me an email and we can try to get that so everyone's aware of what's going on.
Sounds perfect. Thank you, Joe. And we have something from West Condominium Septic System. Another one for Mr. Fry to kick off for us, please.
Just taking a note.
Okay,
The West Condominium Septic System is located there near 66th Street. Similar to the one that you approved previously at one of our last board meetings. This would just be denying it, that we will not take it over, and then it will be a private system. Is that formality for Eagle? So if you guys recall, I think you did it for Riverside. It's a similar thing. So we would, suggested by staff, is to decline the request, assume the responsibility.
thank you. Are there any questions for Mr. Fry? Wow, hearing none. I'll entertain a motion.
This is Aldrich. They make a motion to decline the request to assume responsibility for the West Condominium septic system.
Is there support, please?
This is Bigford. I'll support.
Okay, we have a motion and support. Is there any further discussion about the West Condominium septic system? I'm seeing a lot of no's, so I'll go ahead and call the roll. Aldrich,
Yes.
Bigford,
Yes.
Helmrich,
Yes.
Marcy,
Yes.
Osman, yes, motion carries. So now I have to turn my page. And we can talk about item number 3. That would be the MERS defined contribution plan resolution. And once again, I will let Mr. Fry kick this one off. He's most familiar with it.
The next 4 items on the agenda, just to give you a pretext, are all renewals or the creation of retirement plans, which is before you, and the renewals for other insurance policies. These are normal business because the effective date is July, so we're doing it now so that we are in compliance when July hits. The DC plan is a direct contribution retirement plan, which was agreed to in the town in my manager contract for a 6% contribution to the retirement for a 401. MERS would be facilitating that, as they do facilitate our other retirement plans. So this is before you to adopt that resolution so that the plan can be created and we can put the retirement in. Any questions?
No questions. I will entertain a motion, please.
This is Marcy. I'll move to authorize and approve the MERS Direct Contribution Plan resolution as presented.
Thank you. Is there support, please?
This is Aldrich. I'll support.
Okay, we have a second motion and support. Is there any further discussion regarding the defined contribution plan? None? Marcy,
Yes.
Aldrich,
Yes.
Bigford,
Yes.
Helmrich,
Yes.
Osman, yes, motion carries unanimously. So, Mr. Fry, will let you go on to item number 4. And this was also kind of a late addition, but it wasn't anything that was unexpected. We annually get requested to renew health insurance plans, and sometimes it's biannual. So if you would take it off, please.
So the health insurance renewal, as I state, is a 6.13% increase in the premium. Last year, it was a 5.4%. Last year, the plan was renewed as is, as what is being presented tonight. Coverage will be the same. The only modifications would be the virtual visit copay would be covered in full, and the 3 prescription tiers would see slight changes. The MAPD plan would see a 0% increase in the premium for the 2nd year in a row. And I just want to note that that plan most likely will not be renewed for next year, as staff changes are occurring in the next fiscal year. So, any questions?
Yeah,
Joe?
I'm sorry. Could you just define MAPD for us?
That is the Medicare plan, insurance plan that's for our billing official. That was an existing plan for renewal.
Yeah, and I'll just note, I think it is likely we'll need to renew that next year, but we can talk about that next year.
Yep. One thing I do note, as we get into next year, I'll be talking to our insurance rep just to, try to get these things a little bit more ahead of time so that I have more time to review them and see if there's any other plans that provide the same coverage but at different rates.
Okay.
That will be a project for our upcoming year.
Any other questions for Mr. Fry? Hearing none, I'll take a motion, please.
This is Aldrich. I move to authorize the township manager to sign off on approving the renewal for the current health insurance plan and the MAPD plan renewal.
Thank you. Is there support?
I'll support.
Okay, we have a motion and support. Is there any further discussion or questions? I'll call the roll. Oh, I'm hearing somebody. No?
No, I'll just have cough.
Okay, I'll go ahead and call the roll. Aldrich,
Yes.
Helmrich,
Yes.
Osmond, yes. Marcy,
Yes.
and Bigford.
Yes.
Motion carries unanimously. And we can move on to another one for Joe to describe to us, and that would be number 5, the dental plan.
The dental plan, the township before had a stipend within the manager agreement. The township board signed off, required a dental plan to be instituted. The dental plan will cover all the individuals who are in the health plan. If you note on the screen at the bottom of this plan, for a single party, it would be $32.04 for the premium. That's monthly, and then $59.81 for 2 parties. That is the standard plan. When I talk to them going over the various dental plans, this plan is the standard that everybody uses.
Very good. Are there any questions for Mr. Fry on the dental plan?
Yeah, I was wondering, have we determined in this dental plan, in the Delta dental plan, that the area dentists that current staff are using are included?
I did not verify that.
I think we should do that so someone's not forced to go to a dentist in Holland when they've been going to a local dentist for years.
So the Delta dental plan for diagnostic, everything is the same except for major services, it's at 50. For so the outer network, it's 80% is covered, and the basic services is 60%. So currently we only have a stipend, so you'll still be able to go to your dentist. They might just be out of the network, but it is still covered.
Yeah,
And
I'm sorry to bring it up now, but I feel like we should clarify that people can use the dentist that they've been using. I mean, there's 2 local dentists that I think all staff use, one of 2. And I'd feel more comfortable endorsing this if I knew they were in the plan.
in my experience, the Delta dental is very widely accepted
Okay.
as daughter of school teachers who had Delta dental insurance. But you could change the motion to conditioned upon finding that the 2 local dentists are
Okay.
participating.
That sounds good.
Yeah, I've had Delta dental before, and every dentist I've talked to had Delta dental coverage.
No, and I know they're huge, but it just dawned on me that it'd be nice to clarify that if we can.
Ms. Marcy,
I can clarify that Delvecchia definitely carries it, or what's the word? Approves it, because
Is
when
in
I
network?
moved here, I came with it.
I
Oh.
use Delvecchia and she carries it, I know. That's what I have too.
Well, let's check out Dr. Wiley too.
Okay.
okay. It sounds good. I think that an amended motion might be appropriate. approving it conditioned upon Joe's investigation that Dr. Wiley also accepts Delta Dental, though I'd be very surprised if he didn't.
Right.
So I'll entertain a motion.
This is Marcy. I will move that we approve the dental plan as presented with one caveat, and that is that Dr. Wiley's office accepts it, and authorize the township manager to execute the agreement upon having that answer.
Thank you. Was there a support?
I'll support.
Okay. We have a motion and support. Are there any further discussions about the dental plan? None. I'll call the roll. Marcy,
Yes.
Helmrich,
Yes.
Bigford,
Yes.
Aldrich,
Yes.
Osmond, yes. Motion carries unanimously.
All right.
And number 7, we have our manager 6-month review documents that,
There's one more.
It's an
policy
insurance.
renewal.
oh, one more policy. Oh, the insurance policy. Sorry, I skipped it.
It's all right.
I'm getting blind in my old age.
I was blind in my young age, hence the big, binoculars. The insurance policy, now this is the overall insurance, so building burns down, all that stuff. When I talk to our carriers, which is EMC Insurance and which is provided by Boynton and Associates. A couple things to note is there will be an 18% increase in the premium from 11,209 to 13,578. Property deductible will go from 250 to 2,500 due to past claims. For example, the bridge got hit by a car and had to repair it. So that's where that's coming from. And a new deductible for public officials due to the frequency and weight of current suits. I did confirm that over time, premiums and deductibles would lower. You just have to get these weird anomalies evened out. The overall coverage has not changed. And this would be a good plan to continue going forward. So I would recommend renewing it.
Are there any questions for Mr. Fry? No.
What was the old deductible for the public officials?
We did not have one.
Oh, okay.
It's a big jump.
I think that we just have to be more careful and thoughtful than our previous board. It's kind of a legacy cost that we don't have a lot of choice about. But if there's no more questions for Mr. Fry, I would entertain a motion.
I do. I don't know how I missed that. So we are personally liable. Am I reading it correctly?
No.
Okay. All right. Got it.
No.
But if one of us is sued, the township is.
Township costs. Right?
Yeah, so this
Oh.
is if the township is sued to, we're currently in 2 right now. So it's those type of suits.
I'm sorry. You kept cutting in and out, Joe.
Oh,
Can you
sorry.
say that one more time for me, please?
The current suits that we're in with the
Right.
properties, that is what is being referred to.
Okay.
Yep.
Any other questions for Mr. Fry? Okay, I will entertain a motion.
This is Bigford. I'll move to approve the insurance policy renewal as presented and authorize the township manager to execute agreements.
Is there support?
This is Marcy. I'll support.
We have a motion and support. Are there any further discussions? I'll go ahead and call the roll. Bigford,
Yes?
Marcy,
Yes.
Osmond, yes. Helmrich
Yes.
and Aldrich.
Yes.
Motion carries unanimously. So I don't skip anybody. Manager 6-month review. I'd like to think that the review documents were in your packet. And the process will be the same as we did with our previous manager, Mr. Graham. And if everybody will take the time between now and June to fill out the performance evaluation form and then send them to me, either drop them off or email them. I will compile all the information into one and we will present the performance evaluation in a closed session as long as Joe requests that. Are there any questions or concerns? Or Joe, do you want to add anything to that?
Oh, I'm looking forward to the review, to make sure that we're all on the same page as we are going forward. And I'm super glad to be here and work with you all. Looking forward to your feedback.
Madam Supervisor, can you send us individually the review forms so they're not printed on the back of other agenda items?
Not buried in your packet somewhere. I
Right,
most
right.
certainly can do that.
That would be helpful. And I would just, excuse me, I'd like to request that when we do the closed session, with probable closed session, could that be scheduled later in June as a special meeting and not part of the regular meeting? Because we have the taxation hearing and other lengthy issues at the regular meeting.
Yeah, June is kind of a tight month, but I don't have a problem with that. Maybe Mr. Fry, if you could comment, what is the content so far? I mean, we don't really know the content of our June agenda, but I know that it's time when you're filing up the budget,
Right.
and printing and mailing tax bills and other such items that it could be a little bit tight. I'd be welcome to hear comments from other board members.
I can send out a doodle to everyone so that you can fill it out about what times work best for you, geared towards the end of the month. And then I will send it out to verify, and then I will give that date that everyone verified to Cindy to request that special meeting. Does that sound good to everyone?
Sounds great.
Yes.
Good. Abby, are you good with that?
Yeah, I just had one more comment on this subject. For Joe, we're very happy that you're here too. And we're happy that you're happy. So, or at least I am. I think I probably speak for everyone. And thank you for initiating this process. I know reviews aren't always fun, but I think it's important, like you said, just to that we're all together sharing that information and making sure that there's, direct and regular communication. So thank you for being proactive with that. And I look forward to chatting.
Good. I look forward to it as well.
Thanks, everybody. I think that's sounds like a plan. And so I would entertain a motion that I will email the performance evaluation form outside of the packet, so you don't have to dig for it. And everybody will make an effort to get those back to me so I can compile the information. And then we will schedule a special meeting toward the end of June to review in a closed session.
I don't think we need a motion. Am I
No.
wrong?
I don't believe
Oh, we don't need a motion.
No, but
Well,
thank you.
just to schedule the special meeting, but we don't have to do that at this very minute. We can do it
Right.
after
Okay.
Joe gets the dates together.
But thank you for outlining the plan and summarizing
Yeah.
what we discussed. That's helpful.
Cool. So quarterly board workshops. Mr. Fry, do you want to talk a little bit about what a quarterly board workshop would be? And
Yeah.
they would not be action items, they would be a review and discussion.
So over the last 2 board meetings, I brought it before you as a kind of a think about it, and then we talked about it again. Quarterly board workshops, what they would be is we would put agenda items on before that workshop. So you guys can talk about whatever you want to that's on the agenda. There might be things I ask for a discussion, and we then meet. You open the meeting, do the public comment, and then it's just open talk. How do you guys feel about this? No action can be taken during a workshop. It's just to make sure that everyone is on the same page. I have more, I can ask more in-depth questions of the board altogether to make sure we are following what you guys want to see happen in the township. The dates that are in your packet and on the screen, they're just proposed ones. I can send out again a doodle to kind of finite the time and things. I know some of you guys have mentioned some concerns about Tuesdays at 3. So I can come back with a more detailed, when we prepare the calendar for next year, we can schedule those for the full calendar year. This is just to get us through this calendar year. And it gives me some time to get some other things worked out, and I understand what's going on better before August. That's why it's a little further out.
I like it. I think it's a great idea. We talked about different times that work for different people. And I think we can just make some tweaks to that. We can have everybody involved and everybody present and get some good discussions going.
And excuse me, and I like the proposed timing of doing these at 3 p.m. I think that's more convenient.
Abby, do you have any comments about that?
I absolutely love the,
Sorry. Abby.
again, thank you for initiating this idea, Joe. I think it's great for open dialogue and just idea sharing, just kind of building that informal consensus that we can bring to a regular board meeting for taking action. 3 o'clock isn't a great time for me. I can probably make it work. Either earlier or later is better for me. So any time between 9 a.m. and probably 1 or after 5 is better for me, but I can probably make it work.
Thoughts on those time frames? Because I can send a doodle out and we can get some dates selected for this year. I just would like to know a time frame everyone's comfortable with so I can put some dates together.
Well, maybe we consider morning if that works, like a 10 or 11.
If I were the king of the world, I
You are
would say
tonight. 11
o'clock. It works good because it's close to the lunch hour and you can combine it with your lunch. And it's just a nice time as far as I'm concerned. But Joe, do go ahead and send out something. 11 o'clock I can do almost any day. So
11 o'clock's better for me too.
Brenda and Abby.
Same here.
All right. John.
Yeah, I like 11. That's fine.
Yep.
So I will send out some dates that are different dates at 11, and we can get that working. And I will send a doodle out.
Okay.
perfect.
Thank you, everyone.
Cindy,
Yes.
do you think we should still take action? I could just move to approve a quarterly board workshop schedule time to be determined.
That would be perfect.
Okay.
Date
This is
and time?
Bigford.
Sorry.
This is Bigford.
I just
I
want,
move, oh, go ahead,
I just
sorry.
want to clarify, date and time is in your motion? Or just the time?
Oh, just time. Did all those dates work for everybody? Or those 2 dates? I know they
It
did
did
for me.
Yeah, they
Mhm.
work for me.
Okay, I just
Okay.
want to make sure I was like,
No, good.
which
Thank
direction am I
you.
going?
Okay, here we go. This is Bigford. I move to approve the 2021 quarterly board workshop schedule as presented, time to be determined.
Not
Okay.
11?
Oh. Time 11 a.m. Much better.
Okay, we have a motion. Is there support?
I'll
This is
support.
Marcy, I'll support.
Okay, we have
Well,
a
yeah, go
motion.
ahead.
We have a motion and support. Is there any further discussion?
Sounds great.
Yay.
Okay, I'll call the roll. Bigford,
Yes?
Marcy,
Yes,
Osmond, yes. Aldrich
Yes.
and Helmut.
Yes, please.
Motion carries unanimously. Road project approval. I'm going to turn this one back over to Mr. Fry again. I think he can give us a little enlightenment as to where we are. Mr. Fry, you have the floor.
So the township board previously approved the various projects and sent them to the road commission to work on prior to me being here. And then the road commission takes that list and starts on the engineering. And so they have the engineering of the plans. So the public residents who would like to know what the plans are for the road, the Allegan County Road Commission has those. The bids were posted by the Allegan Road Commission after it was approved by the township board previously at a, I don't know the date at this time, but that was posted for the bid due date of April 28th. The bids came back and the county sent that to, similar to the other roads at the last board meeting, for the recommendation of the lowest bid. This would be Crone Excavating for $162,955. And it's for project number 4054. So that is what I have at this time.
Do any board members have questions for Mr. Fry?
Yes, Helmut, I'd like a clarification because my understanding is how this was presented and in our discussion earlier today, that this, what we're looking at today is strictly for Dugout Road itself, the connecting road. But then I've been asked if project 4054 also includes all of Riverside.
Let me pull it up in your packet. In your packet, it has the description in it. Let me just grab it real quick.
yeah, I did not
Okay.
see the description.
Let me pull it up and I'll read it to you. Just want to make sure I read it off right. I'm going to share the screen so everyone can see it.
Okay, great.
Can you see the PDF right now?
Nope, not yet.
Okay.
Mm,
All right. Can you see it now?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So project 4054 is 0.87 miles, and I just let you know it's right here, of road rehabilitation, including clearing, station grading, of Dugout Road in Riverside Drive, west of 66th Street in Saugatuck Township. That's the description.
So restoration on Dugout Road and Riverside Drive.
Mhm.
So do we know what that includes?
I don't have the engineering drawings.
Right.
Because from my understanding, historically, the township board would send, these are the roads that are being requested to be worked on per the road plan.
Right.
And the county says, okay, we'll work on those, and it goes from there.
If I might be wrong, but and maybe some other board members could refresh my memory, but I think we had this discussion before about the width and the tree removal, and that we had to meet the standards for streets for the fire department access and so on. Does anybody else recall that?
I remember that too, Cindy.
But I don't see under item of work any reference to tree removals. And I'm asking from the same concern we heard voiced earlier in public comment, the fact that this was posted just today, if it might be more prudent, so residents can also see this, that we table this till next month.
Can we do that, Joe? Do we have a deadline? Because I was thinking the same thing.
I believe you can table it, and I can get try to get the engineering drawings and a little bit more detailed memo on this particular project from the road commission.
I think that'd be very helpful for us and residents.
Yeah, I do think we'll have to, I don't know, hold some kind of a meeting or something with residents as well, because it has been a hot button issue for them.
So I will reach out to the road commission then. Would someone like to make a motion, I believe?
To table?
Yes.
I can do that. This is Marcy. I move to table the approval of road project LH 4064 until our next monthly meeting, our June meeting.
I'll support that.
Okay, we have a motion and support. Is there any further discussion? I guess, Joe, I just have one question. Do we have to delay the Riverside approval as well, or are we just talking about the dugout road?
Because the project is combined and the bid is combined, there wouldn't be a very good way to separate the two at this time without talking to the road commission, because it'd throw them off.
And it is both.
It is both.
Yeah, Scott posted in the chat that the 0.87 miles would be both.
Mhm.
Thanks for that clarification. That's always appreciated. So we have a motion to table with support. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none. Marcy,
Yes.
Helmrich,
Yes.
Bigford,
Yes.
Aldrich,
Yes.
Osmond, yes, reluctant.
So just to reiterate for everyone and the residents, I will be getting more information on the details of this road rehabilitation. I'll ask for the engineering drawings and then see if I can get any more clarification from the county road commission. And that'll be for June.
Thank you, everybody. I think I just dropped my agenda on the floor, but I think our next item is the proclamation for Gay Pride.
And we lost your video.
Yeah, because I'm going to try to fish out that stuff from the floor, and I don't want you to all see
All right.
my manipulations to try to get that.
I'd love to see that.
No, you
All
wouldn't.
right. So next items, are we moving forward or do we want to wait?
With the, no, is the next one the Gay Pride?
The LGBTQ pride.
Yes. Could you please introduce that, John?
Yes, I'm happy to. As you know, the last 2 years, this board has adopted a similar proclamation declaring June as Pride Month. And last year we did it like almost halfway through June because of our second Wednesday meeting. So I thought it would be prudent to go ahead and do this in advance. So it's official for as of June 1st. And as we've done the last 2 years, we'll fly the pride flag, rainbow flag in front of Township Hall. So question, do I need to read this or just submit it as adopted last year with date changes?
I think that we can just adopt it the same as last year with the revised dates on it.
Yep, there's just 2 changes to make it proclaim June 2020, June 2021, and dated approved May 12th, 2021, awaiting the signature of Clerk Bigford. So I'd like to make a motion that we adopt the proclamation designating June as LGBTQ Pride Month in Saugatuck Township.
Is there support?
This is Bigford. I'll support.
Is there any further discussion? Hearing none. Helmrich,
Yes.
Bigford,
Yes.
Aldrich,
Yes.
Osmond, yes. Marcy?
Yes.
Motion carries unanimously. And I was able to successfully retrieve my agenda
It's nice
Without-
seeing you again.
without great embarrassment to my own self. And we'll move on to reports. Treasurer report.
Thank you. So my report for May 12th, 2021. As of May 1st, our general fund bank balance was at $2.5 million, still including the original CD liquidation of 776,000. Total revenue year to date across all funds is 11% ahead of budget, and year-to-date expenses are 18% below budget. Both are improvements from April. In the general fund only, revenue is 9% ahead of budget. Expenses are 2% below. There continue to be no departmental overages. Significant revenue lines ahead of budget include building permits and annual marijuana permits. The fiscal state of the township remains excellent. On the investment front, we've added a certificate of deposit with First National Bank of America, which is based in Grand Rapids. So our current total investments are at $1,400,087.27. And I'd like to point out that this is an increase of 80% from where we were in December due to the new investments having been made. And I'll have an addendum to that in a second. My final point is just that additional tax disbursements will be made based on the county's payment to us of delinquent taxes. That's the estimated, I had it estimated at 68,000. It's a little bit higher, and that was in the consent agenda. But I would like to just add quickly, we have also this week made 2 other investment moves. And this is done in conjunction with myself and Clerk Bigford and MBS, the other financial advisor that we agreed to work with last month. We've bought a bond with the Federal Home Loan Bank Board for 5 years. We've put $250,000 in that, and the yield on that is 1.165%. We did a second one just today, also through MBS. This is a bond for Buchanan, Michigan Community Schools. And this is for 4 years at, let's see, I think it's 0.654%. So the bond rates are inching up, and we're happy to have made these 2 additional investments on behalf of the township. Any questions?
No, thank you, Mr. Helmrich. That was a very nice report.
Thank you.
You're still up, though. as
All
we go
right.
to-
We got to
Committee-
change the order. Hey, Joe, let's work on the order here. This is when I use my voice. Oh, boy. Planning
So we're-
Commission. All
We're
right.
on to committee reports, and the first one is the Planning Commission. Mr.
All right.
Helmrich.
Yes, I'm happy to report the Planning Commission met on April 26th via Zoom. That's when Denise Webster attended her first meeting as a commissioner. We had 2 special presentations, one from Jim Searing, our Parks Commission Chair, who gave a history of our 4 township parks. And then we had Mr. Mark Rodman, who's the Executive Director of the Michigan Historical Preservation Network, who spoke on the process of creating a historic district in the township. Public comments were mostly on the Eagle, the state issuing a violation notice on the Van Horn Pond property. Questioned why this would not some of the comments questioned why this would not invalidate the special use approval that the Planning Commission had granted earlier. And there were complaints about the sand blowing onto neighboring properties. We had an update on the 4 special committees of the Planning Commission. None have met yet. Well, at the time I wrote this, Attainable Housing needed a chair. It now has a chair in Denise Webster, and we're going to use the May meeting on May 24th to just deal with some of the mechanics and organization and how we schedule meetings. We now have 4 committees that have between 4 and 7 members on them. So I think after the May 24th meeting and we get on to, Joe's going to help us get on Teams and get the communication stuff set, we'll be off and running. There was discussion on a draft pond creation zoning ordinance that has clearer restrictions in it that's been drafted by our zoning administrator. And that we asked that be further reviewed by our council prior to the next planning commission meeting and potential subsequent consideration by this board. And as I've already said, the planning commission's meeting on Monday, May 24th at 7 p.m. in person to focus on the logistics relative to these new special committees. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Helmrich. Road Commission, I know we've already talked about some road commission topics, but Mr. Fry or Brenda, do you have anything to add to the Road Commission?
I do not. Do you, Joe, at this point?
At this point, I don't have anything at this moment.
Okay, Fire Board, Ms. Aldrich.
The stats are in your package, and there was another successful immunization clinic at the high school. And thank you again for the Saugatuck golf carts, Back Alley Pizza, Grass Scott Fire Department for their donations. Winwood Property Services donated spring cleanup of the station. And there was a discussion of the Lakeshore Drive washout and access through there. And Joe's got some pictures that to show you what's going on out there. It's very exciting. So we can
They went on my other thing. I'll pull them up.
Oh, you don't have them?
No, go ahead and pull them up. And while you're doing that, maybe we can go talk about Parks Commission.
Okay.
Mr. Searing. No, Mr. Searing. How about Ms. Goshorn? Do you have comments? Not hearing it.
Cindy, there is a parks report in the,
Oh, it's in the packet.
Yeah, I put in a report. So
Sorry, I couldn't unmute. Go ahead.
there you go.
I think Mr. Fry has the floor, please.
Oh, did I hear Lori pop up?
Yeah, but she muted herself again, so I'm not sure. Lori, do you want?
Can you unmute yourself, Lori?
Go ahead, Joe. I just wanted to say that I couldn't unmute myself fast enough, but go ahead.
Oh, no, go right ahead, Lori. As the commissioner, you can give a better update.
I haven't seen the report myself, so please go ahead this time. Thanks.
Okay. What we're working on the update, the Blue Star Trail maintenance that was repaired. We talked about brush hogging some of the entrance, but the Park Commission would like to wait on doing that project so that we can focus on some other ones. The Blue Star Trail, those agreements are being processed and we're getting those finalized. The Park Commission is working on a park plan priority list to see what projects they want to do, similar to a capital improvement list. That will also assist me in creating the required capital improvement list for the township. Just a side note, this is not on your report. The Sundown Park, the Drain Commission has given an update. They are starting to move forward. They just have to get some eagle permits to fix that drain there. The Kalamazoo River Natural Resource Trustee Council selected our project idea, and they're currently working on that. There was a public comment period. As Jim mentioned, we are working on going through and preparing a draft for the commission for the bylaws, and then some policies for clarification for the parks overall. So that will be coming in the next couple months for the park commission. And then also a side note, and also for Lori, I met with Andy today, and we are working on finalizing the park maintenance checklist. So we got some things fixed for them here. And then I also have the pictures
Oh, goody.
pulled up. So you guys see the screen?
That's the lake shore with the washout. Doesn't that look fantastic?
Mm,
And then, so the Allegheny County Road Commission worked and they got this fixed as a temporary solution as we worked forward on getting some other stuff working on.
Good news.
So that's the Park Commission update.
thank you. That looks great. Kalamazoo Lake Water and Sewer Authority, I'm assuming that's in our packet.
There is nothing in your packet, but I did talk to our rep, Michael
McWigan.
McWigan. Sorry, the last name just went out. Michael McWigan. He said currently there's nothing large going on. It's normal business. So things are going pretty well. If you have even more questions, you can contact him or the minutes on the Kalamazoo Lake Water Authority.
Thank you.
Yeah, I have a question here because I think, isn't Mr. McGuigan moving out of the township at some point soon?
To the best of my knowledge, Mr. McWigan and Miss Van Weeren have sold their property in the township and are planning to move to Florida. I don't think we received the formal resignation letter yet, but we do have to kind of plan for that. I
Right.
think it's coming, so.
Okay. Yeah, I just wanted to make sure it was on our radar that we may need to be posting and seeking and appointing a new rep. Because I miss, his reports were so wonderful. So I kind of miss that communication about what's going on out there. So thanks.
Yep. Emergency Services Committee, I suspect they don't have anything new to report.
Well, I did talk to Tony Shippa, who is our ambulance contact, and asked for him to give a presentation soon. I believe he mentioned that he would be getting one ready for June. So I'll touch base with him. But I did talk to him and he's working on getting some stuff together for you all.
Perfect, thank you, Mr. Fry. Interurban Board report is in our packet. Do we have anyone here from the Recycle Committee? I know that they did give a substantially informative report about Household Hazardous Waste Day, but I'm not seeing anybody. If
Yeah.
you want-
Okay. Oh,
Just
Go
thought
ahead.
I'd throw out, we did have a meeting today. Garnet read a bunch of figures. We had 270 cars, 45% of which were from the township, yay us.
mhm.
We covered our expenses thanks to a last minute donation from the oh shoot, that philanthropic group that's,
The Rotary Club.
yes, thank you, thank you. And there's a lot of interest in having a repeat sometime in the fall and continuing this on. And we're looking at next, working on getting better recycling and bi-monthly pickups and things. So just thought I'd add a smidgen. Thanks.
I ended up working for someone that day, and I gotta say, it was the most organized. I really ran smoothly, just a lot of fun doing it, working it. Everybody was upbeat. Everybody was appreciative of the efforts of that committee. And it's just was so well run. I just give them the utmost applause for what they've achieved in such a short period. It was great.
Yeah, I'd like to add to that. I mean, it ran so smoothly with the appointment times, and it was actually kind of fun to be bringing stuff to it. And I want to acknowledge that several of our township reps on the recycling committee were there all day working, or half day, whatever. But it was a great turnout, big success, and I'm very proud that we, the board and the township, supported it financially.
Thank you, Lori. Thank you, John. That's the end of our committee reports. So we can move on to, once again, Mr. Fry, poor guy today, he has to do all the heavy lifting. Manager report.
I like her, else I wouldn't be here. So just a couple of highlights in here. So I sent in an update to the board about our, I guess I titled that wrong. The Cal Lake received a letter, which you all had received, asking for clarification on stuff. We responded with a corrective action plan on how we are going to proceed. This is a normal administrative item. It normally comes to different utilities as from Eagle to say, hey, here's some things we need you to update or whatnot due to different regulations. So nothing too drastic to worry about with that. So I did sign off on that and we sent that in. One of the things that we are committing to work on is revising our agreements for utilities amongst the 4 partners. So we'll be working on that. So within the next year and 2 years, you just to keep on your radar, those will be coming down the line. So I will have more information on that as we, me and the other managers start discussing that going forward. Building services RFQ, those came back. I'm currently reviewing the proposals and then seeing how this can work with providing services going forward. Building our BSNA utilization, I'm currently reviewing our internal procedures related to BSNA so that we can utilize it for day-to-day operations and utilize it more than what we do now. That will help with providing good quality service to our residents and meeting that commitment to excellence. John talked about the planning and zoning committees. So the upcoming meeting, the meeting was rescheduled from the 17th to the 24th, and it is basically a kickoff for the committees. So I can just do go over some administrative stuff, make sure all the committee chairs who are commissioners can have their questions answered in one fell swoop, and then they can get to work. The park meeting did change the date from the 2nd to the 7th, and that will be in person, as Mr. Scenery mentioned. The proposed budget was before you. I will be posting and getting that all wrapped up for a final budget hearing, truth and taxation hearing, and final approval for our upcoming fiscal year. Just a reminder, the township does have to have a budget adopted before the fiscal year starts its balance. But as you recall, we amend it throughout the year at different times to keep it on track. I am currently working with our end year budget amendments. So that will be ready for the June board meeting. And also an update, the American Rescue Plan. I attended a White House and Department of Treasury webinar trying to get more information the other night. Currently, we are a non-entitlement agency. So the entitlement agencies are the states, counties, and very large cities that are 50,000 plus in population. As the non-entitlement, the funds will be funneling through the state Treasury Department. And we will be working on that. The guidelines for non-entitlements has not been issued yet. It should be issued by next week. I will be having some more conversations as Mr. Dean Kapinga was talking about the counties. And there is a list of different things that the funding can be used for. Just to let the board know, I'll be reviewing what that required list is that is issued by the Department of Treasury, the Federal Department of Treasury, and looking at our priority lists that the Township Board has gone through, and I will identify different things for the board to have an open discussion to say, hey, these things meet the criteria for the American Rescue Plan, so that the board can have some more conversations on how they would like to go forward. So once I get more information, there will be a memo that's more detailed. But that is it. Does anyone have any questions or would like me to go over anything?
I'm not seeing anything, Mr. Fry, so thank you very much for another great report. Now we're to open board report. We'll just go around the table and the virtual table and see if anybody has any comments. Mr. Helmrich, do you have any comments or?
Oh, you picked me first. I do, of course.
Yes, because you're first.
All right. Well, I guess. I want to echo what Commissioner Kapinga said about all the volunteers and the incredible Allegan County vaccination effort. We got our shots out in Wayland, and I think every weekend and other days of the week, our fire chief Janik and many of his crew were doing shots all day. In fact, my second shot was done by one of our firemen. So I liked his idea, and maybe we can think of some way of recognizing them, the Saugatuck Township Fire District, for their incredible effort that I know of many, many, many of us are participated in. And, oh, I have a question for Supervisor Osmond. I forgot to ask you earlier. You were at the City Hall, Saugatuck Board meeting, a council meeting on Monday night, correct?
Mm-hmm. Correct.
Did they vote on having us join the Harbor Authority?
They did.
Thank you. I knew they would. So now the two cities have both said yes, and I understand there's still some bits of legal work that have to be done for us to formally join. But I did want to point out, when that happens, we will have to post, and we'll have the opportunity to appoint 2 representatives, full voting members, to the Kalamazoo Lake Harbor Authority, and also tweak our budget because they will be entitled to a stipend like planning commissioners. But that's all good news. It certainly went so quickly, right? And the other thing I just wanted to share with you is earlier today, I went to Michigan Townships Association, had a webinar directed, it was titled Planning and Zoning for Township Board Members. So it was very informative. And of course, there's a great PowerPoint, and I will share it with you. I know I've been sharing PowerPoints with you, and I urge you at your leisure to look at them. And but I think this one is particularly important because of the fact that most of the decisions from these 2 bodies end up in the lap of the board for final approval and or amendment. And that's it. Brenda, are you going to talk about communities of interest?
Brenda, you have the floor.
Am I next?
You're next, but I can't hear you very good.
Oh, you can't?
No, You went in a can.
Why don't we let Abby go next and then we can figure out why we can't hear you. Abby, do you have any board report?
Sure. I just wanted to respond to Ms. Goshorn's letter. I really appreciate Chair Jim Searing, commenting on that. And I'm hopeful and encouraged that the legal review, it sounds like it largely supported what Goshorn's letter said, and that looking at the bylaws could really just move this subject forward. And it's just wanted to acknowledge that it's a subject that I care about, and I'm hopeful, about it moving forward. And I value all of the work of the commissioners. We have excellent parks at a low cost, largely due to all of the volunteer work that they do. And I also value Manager Fry's commitment to the parks. They're great and they're just improving. So thanks, guys.
Thanks, Abby. Brenda, would you like to try again?
Does it sound any better? No?
It's like
Can't
you're
help
talking
it
through
out.
it's like you're talking through a washcloth. So we'll move on to Stacy while we work on that.
I was
Okay.
just gonna say almost exactly what Abby said. So, don't have to go over that again. Thank you, Abby. And we definitely are paying attention, and we value everybody that works on our committees. And I'm just so proud of our parks that we just appreciate everything you do. So, and I'm glad we tabled the road just so everybody has an opportunity to review that. And also, boy, that miniature golf course is really coming along. I'm excited about that. I can't wait to play it. Yeah, that's all I've got.
Thanks, Stacy. Okay, Brenda, it's up to you. Speak loudly.
Okay, can you hear me now?
No.
Hey, Brenda, I want to give you a jingle on the phone and try to see if that works. Is that okay?
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Put you on speakerphone.
All right.
That's better.
Some of the sound must be working.
Yep.
Is it better?
Can you hear her?
Yeah. I went into the sound in the system and everything. It's the internal microphone. I do not know why all of a sudden.
No.
Anyway,
Hang on, Brenda. Can you?
Hey, can she use chat?
Mm,
I don't think that loud.
Can you mute your computer? And turn off your microphone. All right, there we go. All right.
I didn't mute that. I muted me, but not the microphone. It should be muted.
Okay. I don't think this is working very well.
A lot of feedback.
Could she just say what she wants to say to you, Joe, and you can try to repeat it?
Yeah. What would you like to say, Brenda? Yep. They can't hear you. Okay, I'm gonna pause just so I can relay. All right. She had her first meeting with the redistricting folks about community of interest, and they agreed that keeping our communities together is of high importance. Okay. All right. So they are currently working on surveys and forms and preparing information for the public testimony that is coming up. And the folks that are working on this will have 2 minutes to speak to the board. They are meeting, the people, our folks on the community of interest are meeting next Monday. So they're meeting quite frequently to get this all wrapped up together. Anything else, Brenda? That's it. All right. Thank you. That's it. From Brenda.
Thanks
That
to
was-
the two of you. That was tricky, but you made it work.
That was worth waiting for. Thank you for making it happen.
John did jingle a bell in my head that I did want to tell you 2 other things. So thanks, John.
Uh-oh, I hope they're good things.
They are. The PC and ZBA terms, they're coming up. Those have been posted and will be before you in July for appointment for the full term. So that is posted. The application is on the website. And I will be emailing people who have previously applied for within the next 2 weeks. Also, our spring cleanup, we will be having that again. That has been posted on our website and sent out in our newsletters. And we will be putting that also in the newspaper to get the information out. So just FYI.
Thanks, Joe. Is there anybody else that has something to add or clarify? Well, I think I'm the last one. I just want to echo what everybody else said about the Parks Commission and the volunteers. I thought they were absolutely fabulous. I don't think I've ever been to such a clean mass event as the vaccination event. It was really slick and really smooth. And that's about it what I have for today. If there's nothing anybody else has, I would entertain a motion. No, we have to go to public comment. No, we did. Where are we?
Yep.
I'm on the wrong page again.
Public comment, you're right.
Public comment. So if there's anybody from the public that would like to make any comments, please either raise your hand, keep your comments to 3 minutes for individuals, and we will recognize you. Again, it's not a question and answer session, but an opportunity to voice your thoughts. So I'm looking for any raised hands. Raised hands. Denise?
Hi, I don't know if you can hear me.
Yep.
Excellent. Denise Shipley, Saugatuck Township. I just wanted to say I'm here in support of the Parks Commission. I've sat through some of their meetings and gosh, they do so much. I'm happy to hear that the board is in support of them and appreciate all that they do. I don't know what more we can do for them, but gosh, it's really just come to my attention that they are super vital to everything. And however best we can support them, perhaps a liaison to the board. I don't know what's already been discussed, so I don't want to repeat anything and sound kind of ignorant. So I apologize if you've already discussed it. But I just want to support them. And sitting through more of their meetings, I understand how much work they're doing and how really vital it is. I suppose maybe in the sort of subcommittees, rural character, we can meet more with them. But whatever we can do, the board and the community to support the Parks Department, that's all I gotta say. Thank you.
Thank you, Denise. I see John Dorr has his hand up. John, if you could unmute yourself, you have the floor.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
All right. I just want to say I appreciate the board listening to our concerns. And that's all I had. Thank you.
Thank you, John. Is there anyone else that would like to make a comment?
Is on.
Who is? Scott,
Hi, can you hear me?
we can.
Great. I just wanted to, it's kind of echoing John, but with these virtual meetings, it's kind of impersonal. And, with that 3 minutes I'm so concerned to try to express my points, but I want to just thank everyone, on the board for their attention and their effort and their concern and their time. And it's much appreciated. So have a great night, everybody, and we'll see you soon.
Thanks, Scott.
Thank you, Scott. Is there anyone else that would like to speak? I'm not seeing anything. Do you see anything, Joe?
Not.
No, last chance, going once, going twice. Okay, we'll move on to a motion to adjourn.
Is it working now?
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
You know what happened? Like Cindy, I dropped a few things, but one ear pod fell out. The other ear pod died. So I think the computer was still trying to work through the ear pod that was on the floor under my chair. I would like to make a motion that we adjourn this meeting at 7:41 p.m. And today is May 12th, 2021.
thank you, Brenda. Is there support?
This is Aldrich, I'll support.
We have motion and support to adjourn. Is there any discussion? Marcy,
Yes.
Aldrich,
Yes.
Bigford,
Yes.
Helmrich,
Yes.
and Osmond, yes. Motion carries unanimously. Thanks, everybody, for a good meeting.
Thank you.
It was 2 hours
Yay.
shorter than our last one.
Yay.
I just want to point that out.
Better than the last two, I think.
Goodbye, everybody.
Good night,
Bye.
everyone.
Have a great night.
Night.